I like you. Look, if you just want sex, say you want sex. अब इसके बाद तुझे नहीं बोलना है, मत बोलना, बात भी नहीं करनी है, ब्लॉक कर देना, जो करना है कर दे.
How does he say these things?
Today we have a very cute couple out here with us.
Hi.
Hello.
You can
प्यार
go.
तो first
प्यार.
go में बहुत difficult है.
Folk Gujarati boy, cute smile, and he writes poems, and he talks about his feelings. Excuse me.
They found love in a very unconventional way.
Should I make a Tinder or Bumble profile?
Oh, yeah.
कुछ तो गड़बड़ होगा.
Men doing anything online to women is creepy.
There is single and then there is very single. Singles do not lie to me.
Okay.
ये husband crash course क्या दे रहा है podcast पे? मुझे तो नहीं बताया था इन्होंने.
Adventure for a lifetime, guys.
For a lifetime.
This guy knows everything under the sun.
क्योंकि ये विकिपीडिया पे नहीं मिलेगा. पर अगर सामने से बुला रही है तो मैं.
Hey listeners, welcome to another heartwarming episode of Raw, where we delve into raw and inspirational aspects of love. Today we have a very cute couple out here with us. Hi Foram, hi Rudra.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us today. And they found love in a very unconventional way, I should say.
Yeah.
So can you guys tell me about it?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Firstly. How do we start this?
I think it's pretty conventional now. It used to be unconventional.
I don't know.
Now
I don't know how many people successly do it though.
But through Instagram, like. Okay.
Yeah.
well,
Hashtag
yeah.
born on Instagram.
Oh no! Oh no! I was worried about this reference.
I came across Forum's profile. She asked a question.
What was the question?
The question
Okay.
was Forum will tell you.
Yeah.
Because she asked it.
Yeah.
So he saw my travel posts, and that's when he kind of found me because he was researching for his trip. When he got in touch with me, I think I was. There is single and then there is very single.
Okay.
I was very single, and I put that put a meme or something up saying, you know, climate change is real and the world might be ending. So if you have a crush on me, tell me now. ये जो single वाली हरकतें है ना, so मेरी शुरू हो गई थी. So I just put that up and all my friends are like, हाँ किसी का नहीं आया होगा. Nobody must have replied.
Oh my god.
Maybe nobody took it that literally. Nobody took it as a sign. No, maybe I don't know. Maybe I
No,
scared
but the
people.
right-
I don't know.
The right guy messaged you.
Well, yeah.
Not nobody.
One guy did.
Nobody. What?
Not nobody.
Nobody.
Somebody did.
Somebody did. The right guy did.
I'm glad it was just one. I don't think I had it in me to fight competition.
Hello. There is no I don't think it works like that. You know it as well as I do.
Okay,
But
so he texted you.
he replied to that story saying, "Hey, I have a huge crush on you."
You made it easier for him.
Yeah, you made it easier for
Well,
me. Because otherwise I would
Just
come
say it.
across as a
Yeah,
creep.
like you just said, say it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
See,
I suppose.
if I had said it out of turn,
Yeah.
and if a random guy goes up to a girl and
Yeah.
goes like, "Listen, I have a crush on you,"
Yeah, no.
that's
Nobody.
creepy.
Yeah, that's
That is
creepy.
downright creepy. Do not do that. Men do not do that. Wherever the
Okay.
camera is,
No,
do not do
ऐसा
that.
नहीं है. Maybe
नहीं, don't do-
it
I'll tell
depends
you
on
why.
the context, honestly. But
I'll tell you
for
why.
most parts, it is perceived as creepy. Yes.
Men doing anything online to women is creepy.
Yeah, like
That's
I have.
just that's
yeah.
just that's
Yeah,
the base
true.
of it all. There's nothing else.
Basically, yes.
If a woman invites and says, "Listen, tell me if you have a crush," go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because उसको बोलते हैं consent.
बराबर है.
So I took the advantage of having the consent to tell her that you know I like you. अब इसके बाद तुझे नहीं बोलना है, मत बोलना, बात भी नहीं करनी है, ब्लॉक कर देना, जो करना है कर दे. I did my bit.
What is the next thing that you do? Like after you found out, okay, he's messaged you.
Yeah.
Because when a random guy messages you,
Yeah.
you honestly first feel ki, you know, that's creepy. Like, of course, that's one thing that you feel.
No, I mean-
what did you feel? Like,
I take it as a pinch of salt. I don't really take it too seriously. But I knew that there were some mutuals. I checked out the profile. You know, you get a little bit of context. And after that, I responded to him saying, "Oh, that is so sweet." But in my head, I'm like, okay, Forum, you're better than taking one little thing that a man
Yeah,
on
too
the
much.
internet
Yeah,
said
yeah, like,
to your
don't
heart.
go ahead in your like.
Yeah. Like वो शादी बच्चे imagine करना, special feel करना, वो सब नहीं
Direct.
होता. It's not unless you meet someone in person and you literally visualize.
Do women simp the same way men simp?
Maybe not the same way, but we're all Ali
Simp
basically. They're all
that's
Ali
what I'm
from
saying.
Doom.
Are we sure that we are all? Because I'm just.
They're all Ali from Doom. Please do
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
singles do not lie to me. We
होता
all have imagined,
yeah,
instantly
शादी,
imagined.
बच्चे,
शादी,
सब कुछ.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, everything. The
Wow.
whole
Definitely.
works,
Wow.
whatever
Yeah,
we
if you like
imagine.
the person, then yeah, you go ahead. Like,
Yeah.
No, मेरे
Yeah.
दिमाग में
So-
कभी ऐसा सिंपिंग नहीं
Under
होता.
1.5
But I get
seconds.
it.
He fell hard for you, huh? मतलब सिर्फ photos और Instagram पे देखी was like.
Yeah, I was.
You were all out like.
Thing is, Foram has this glow about her on camera, and I'm not just saying this
The
because
highlighter.
No, that even
Whatever-
I agree too.
whatever
like she
it
has
was.
this energy.
yeah, and it's contagious.
I think the energy radiates.
and you
like,
feel it.
definitely.
You feel it.
Yeah.
When you meet her for the first time, when you talk to her, there is just something about her presence.
True.
Uh,
Agreed.
And I was just mesmerized by it in the first go.
How does he say these things?
It was very difficult for me to not like ignore that bit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, I have to accept that this girl is very pretty.
So it was not time pass, no?
First it was.
Okay.
I
I
would,
see him in
I would
Because
say
you really
कि
can't
listen,
tell
Yeah,
where something is
Yes,
going. You
yes.
can
प्यार
go.
तो first go
प्यार-
में बहुत difficult है, ठीक है? और honestly
hope I
तुम
guess.
जिसे प्यार like the moment you say you call something love, a few days or weeks after that you'll realize, oh wait, what I thought was love is different now. My definition of love
Yeah,
changed.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
strange.
for sure.
And it happens because you know
Yeah.
infatuation happens. You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to like certain parts about certain people.
Yeah.
For the longest time, you ignore their flaws
Yeah.
or think of their flaws as cute little bits
Oh my god.
sprinkled all over them, which come like the crunchy parts
Red
of a spring roll. I don't know, like you know, it's just some of these things that that I found about Forum were much later.
Okay.
But
Of course, because the first was just the infatuation.
yeah, but infatuation
Yeah.
is very important. I cannot stress about it. People call it superficial, people call it shallow.
But that's the first step, isn't it?
Yeah, you
So,
need to feel attracted.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to
Love,
feel a vibe, and
Yeah, a vibe.
if there's a vibe, then there'll be anything more than that at all.
Absolutely. Attraction is the first step to falling in love.
Yeah, I don't think it's
If you're
shallow.
not attracted to your partner physically, like with your eyes first,
Yeah.
it's going to be very hard falling in love with them.
Yeah.
I think it's
Of
true.
course, I mean, you know, it's more than that,
Yeah.
but you can't ignore that.
You
Because
cannot
that's the
ignore that.
first.
Yeah, that's the first.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So I fell like hard, and I was not planning
Okay.
on doing that at all.
But
It was just
same.
her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you told me like you didn't even want to get married like before.
No,
you met
oh my god, if people see this and people who I have dated see this, because I have not spoken to them since.
Okay.
Speaking of,
I hope they see this. I hope they see it.
They're gonna be like, यार हमको
hey.
You gotta watch this.
हमको तो इमोशनली अनअवेलेबल चीजें बोल रहा था, ये बंदा शादी वादी
शादी
करके
कर रहा है,
प्यार के
क्या?
पॉडकास्ट में आ रहा है.
ये हस्बैंड क्रैश कोर्स क्या दे रहा है पॉडकास्ट पे? मुझे तो नहीं बताया था इसने. But I mean, please,
changed
we've
him.
all been there.
It
No,
changed, like he was like शादी कर
कुछ भी नहीं किया मैंने.
But आते हैं ना
I
हर
did nothing.
every guy when he finds the right girl, I think he just changes. Like he completely changes.
I'll tell you what it is actually. If you're lucky enough, you know, it's not everybody, but if you're lucky enough, you kind of see it right in front of you,
Okay.
and you're like, you know what? Yeah, why not? If this means that I have to do these things, and if this means that everything that I have known a certain way, whether it's relationships or whether it's, you know, my habits or lifestyle or anything, if it needs me to be a certain way so that I can live my best life the way I have envisioned it, then why not? I think it's that. But they don't, it's not on paper.
Of course, they
it's
don't
not
state
that.
it, like, it's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that delicate.
deep. It's
yeah.
deep down.
It's
On a
just,
very
it's very
subconscious
subtle.
level.
Yep.
On a very subconscious.
I think that I allowed myself that change because I wanted to be with her.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think a lot of men are not able to do that. I think that's basically why we've had most women that you speak to will probably have the same kind of, like, there'll be different complaints, but it'll kind of sound the same when they talk about the men in their life.
Yeah.
It's for that reason, right? Because most people are not able to break out of that.
Break out of that. Yeah.
Do you have the same complaints?
Well,
Yeah, do you have the
no.
same complaints?
Not anymore. But I did.
Not
My
anymore.
whole life, we've all kind of had the same kind of a, like that wall that we hit every time we try to have a meaningful relationship with men. So I think it's important that they are more in touch with themselves so that we can kind of, you know, enter
Yeah.
their life and actually make a meaningful relationship. I hope I'm making
So you're
sense.
trying
Yeah,
to
no,
say
no.
you're trying to say like men themselves don't know
Yeah.
themselves at a lot of levels.
Most
It takes-
people don't know themselves.
Most people don't know themselves, and it takes time
But
to
I think
kind of.
for men
For
more.
men, yes. Part of it is because I think emotional intelligence is not valued in our society for men.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so important.
Because they don't seem to have the time for it.
Yeah.
We only make time for things we add value to, and our value systems don't allow emotional intelligence to be at the top of it. The priority is not that.
True.
Somebody else will take care of it.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is very important, and that's the first thing I told Foram when I met her first time. Is that I want to be with you because you are emotionally superior
Yeah.
than I am. And I want to learn that. And I think you are the right person who will help me grow into somebody I want to be. Because everything else is something that I can bring. But what you bring to the table is this.
It's something different, yeah.
And then you tell me what you want me to bring to the table.
Okay.
I don't think I told him that for the longest time because
उसने
I think
आज
I
तक
was
नहीं बताया मुझे लगता है.
Oh, come on.
No, but how many men
Come
do
on.
actually acknowledge this also, that you know what, like you have a higher
Very few,
EQ,
right? Yeah.
like an emotional
Yeah.
quotient, and then I want to be with you, and
Yeah.
I am not that person.
Yeah.
I lack that
Yeah.
at so many levels.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's amazing that you could actually point it out for yourself.
I think the fact that he wanted to be like a complete individual in order to then be with someone else, like to be happy with someone else, he wanted to be like a complete individual who has, you know, who has all of these like ambitions and dreams and who has these meaningful relationships of his own. So basically he wanted to be his own person and see then if someone else is able to add happiness to it or value to his life. And I think that was very important because most men that I've been with before, this is not to, you know, compare, but I think there are so many strong multiple experiences that I've had, and I think most women around me, that they kind of held like a trophy. They're unable to give you what you want, but you're still held like a trophy because you are bringing more to the relationship than they are.
They are, yeah.
So it's always been, I don't know, it's not been as beneficial for women as it has been for men to be in such long-term relationships.
Yeah.
So I think what changed for me, and like I just told you, I don't think I was planning to date because I had been a serial dater. So I was like, ab nahi karna hai. I just want to be single or just want to have fun. But when I met him, I think the fact that changed everything was the fact that he really didn't need this relationship. He didn't need someone in his life. You know how we casually look at our, you know, brothers or friends and say कि हाँ बस लड़की आएगी तो ठीक हो जाएगा.
ठीक हो जाएगा.
We don't realize when we say that. Like I would still say that because it is true for most men, sadly.
Yeah.
But it's not how it should be, you know.
Yeah, they should be complete. They should be complete in themselves, and then somebody should just add.
Which Foram already was.
I'm not looking.
Both
for
of y'all
work.
were then.
Yeah,
At a
yeah,
lot
the
of
fact
levels.
that
I think both of y'all were. If y'all are just talking
You
right
know,
now, I
a
realize.
month before I met Foram, I wasn't. That month changed everything in my life because I found the courage to quit my job.
Yeah, a lot
Okay.
of things
A
happen.
lot of things happened. So why I searched for her also was I was planning to, I wanted to go to a trip. मुझे सोलो ट्रिपिंग करना था. मैंने 3 साल से जॉब छोड़ा ही नहीं था
So
मेरा.
you were any which way searching for adventure, and then Foram was also an adventure.
Adventure for a lifetime,
Adventure
guys.
for lifetime. I mean, वो सब like job छोड़ दिया. अभी मैं trip पे जाऊँगा. अभी लड़की को message करूँगा.
Yes, सब कर लूँगा. मैं सब कुछ कर सकता हूँ.
मुझे settle तो होना ही नहीं था मुझे. I wanted to break free, and when I met Foram was complete. Foram also, like she said, she didn't need a man.
Yeah. I think
Self-love
the
max.
fact that we didn't need to be in a relationship, it just made the whole thing kind of fun. You know what I mean?
Imagine
Really.
being on a date, okay? First date.
Oh yeah.
And your date says the words, "No man is worth it."
It's
These are the first words that come out of her mouth when we're talking about, acha, what about relationships?
Okay.
And the first word is, "No man is worth it." I was like, acha.
I found that
I
out
have
by
one
then.
question. Like, so after he texted you, just to cut you
Yeah,
guys, कि when did you all meet? Like after how long? That texting phase के बाद?
That was
1
about
month.
a month.
अच्छा, 1 month.
Exactly a month.
Immediately in a month you all met.
1st
Bits and
September to
pieces.
1st
And who
October.
asked?
Yeah,
you,
I think
you
so.
asked her to like meet for dinner.
No, so oh my god.
Who texted?
he oh my god.
I texted
had
about
laid-
everything
he laid the
else.
trap.
Unnecessary flex that he has, no
He laid
god.
the trap for you, and then you
Yeah.
did the move.
Laid the trap. Yeah, no, but I'll tell
She
you
took the
what.
bait.
Yeah, she took the bait.
It's better be cheese. Better be blue cheese. But no, we were talking about random things, and I'm like, listen, I know what you're doing. You're trying to make conversation out of random things. Like, ye thali kahan pe khaya? Oh, is it good? please recommend. And now someone asks nicely, we'll answer, right? ऐसा कोई problem तो है नहीं कि I will not reply to DMs. And for some reason, because of mutuals, he wasn't even in my others folder. He was just in my like general folder, whatever it was at back then, you know. This was 2019, guys.
हाँ, तभी तो folder भी नहीं था, I think.
Ancient Instagram.
या तो hidden हो जाता था message,
yeah.
या तो आ जाता था गलती से.
Yeah, hidden were only bots. So basically, after all this conversation, I knew where this was going, and I'm like, you know what? If I am that single and if I just want to have fun, he's easy to talk to. I asked for a picture. I made sure like I get to see how this person looks. I made sure it's a real person, and I'm like, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? And this is very unlike me because I like to cover my
Kidney जा
bases.
सकता था. That's the worst that could happen.
Kidney जा सकता था.
शादी हो सकता था.
शादी हो सकता था.
हो गया. That's the worst that could happen. That's the worst. शादी हो गया.
I wasn't thinking of that day. I don't think I was thinking of shadi, and I'm like, if I just get some, I will be fine. Like it wouldn't be the worst thing if nothing, we'll just have a fun.
It'll be a nice hookup, and that's a great story to tell somebody. I'm like, you know what?
And I'm like, he seems cute. He seems into me. I mean, I guess that's enough. Like, for me to just have a fun evening, maybe hook up. But what happened is one thing led to another, and we met at his terrace. Because actually the conversation started because we were talking about our favorite cafes. Again, food se jo he's penetrated this conversation only.
Way
no?
to a man's heart is through stomach.
So
ये
now
मैं थोड़ा literally ले लिया actually.
But it's a good conversation starter, I think. Food.
Yeah, no?
Everybody wants to like connect on food. At
Really?
least if you're a foodie, yeah.
Everybody wants starters. No?
Yeah.
Please, Gujarati represent.
Choose, yeah.
So we were both talking about this cafe and this bird song cafe, if you've known, of course, in Bandra. And we are like, oh, it's my favorite. And he's like, oh, I love that too. And I'm like, oh, I love their carrot cake, this and that. So one thing led to another. And we met at his terrace because I'm like, I'm coming that side. Do you want to catch up? And he was caught off guard because it's a normal conversation about food and stuff. Now, I knew where this is going. And I knew he's saying things like, you know, banda hope kar sakta hai ki next wali, you know, would be it. And I'm like, okay, good luck, I guess. But I mean,
all that
I always kept an eye on that profile.
No,
So
the thing is that she was planning after that asking question, right? Ki मैं single हूँ, like if you have a crush, tell me. There was another thing. Should I make a Tinder or Bumble profile?
Oh yeah, at that time I had
wait.
So you took advice from him for that?
No.
Yeah.
They were my stories.
From her,
everyone.
वो क्या interaction के नाम पे कुछ भी कर देते ना लोग. कि अब
Excuse me.
मतलब मुझे interaction
Excuse me?
करना है, but also I need some help in my life. Let's solve two problems with one question.
Okay.
Engagement and engagement.
So she was like, listen, should I make guys tell me if I should make a Tinder or Bumble profile, which is better according to you?
Do not mock me. It was a real phase.
I basically replied saying that because I was getting off and like I said, I wanted to delete. I deleted all my profiles. मैंने बोला नहीं चाहिए ये apps, क्योंकि everybody comes there with an agenda. Nobody wants to say what their agenda is, and everybody pretends to want something which they don't. But they all want to get out of their loneliness, get out of their boredom, but not with their true selves.
Yeah.
Can't relate. I was never on one.
And when you go through cycles of that, right? You realize if you just want sex, say you want sex. If you want to find something serious, say that you want to find something serious.
Yeah.
You don't want to admit that because you feel like, oh, I put myself out there, I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
Now if somebody wants something, they'll say something and take advantage of me.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that. So as soon as you're aware of being on a profile like that, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And then you're not sure if you want to say like the truth or you want to go with an image that you want to construct that you have already.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work, yeah.
And I was like, you know what, I'm tired of this, and I think you as a person would not want to go through this. Even though I know there are a lot of people.
Oh, so you told her that.
So I told her, you know what?
Like spare yourself the
trouble. Don't go on that.
Yeah.
And if you are Indian enough, any app is a dating app.
He's like, I'll show you. Then he's like, I'll show you.
In my case, because Instagram became our Tinder.
Tinder.
But you know,
was
after
great.
that, I've heard so many people who met through Instagram, and I'm like, honestly, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm surprised Zomato doesn't have a section, to
I mean,
have
M
people-
indicator does so. Hey.
M indicator, guys, if you're listening,
M indicator is this app where you get train schedules.
it's our guilty pleasure.
So,
and there's a live chat there.
There is a live chat कि 6:15 की local late है क्या? So Vaishali will respond, and then Ramesh will be like,
आप आ रहे हो क्या?
आप इसमें आ रहे हो क्या?
Train में.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you have free time, and a lot of people do apparently, please just
Practically
go on
also ना
that.
6:15 की ट्रेन में ही मिल ले.
हाँ,
मैं
train.
तभी travel
मैं भी तभी travel कर रहा हूँ.
It's our guilty pleasure, except we're not guilty.
बॉम्बे हम लाइक फेयर इनफ यार कुछ भी चल लेगा.
Time ही नहीं
Time
है
ही नहीं है
यार.
लोगों के पास.
जगह भी नहीं है. So which is why terrace was amazing because there was
Yeah.
a sunset.
And I was coming this side, and actually, this guy was kind of giving me a hot and cold treatment. In fact, I don't think how dating worked that time, like non-exclusive dating. You just meet people, you go on dates. Now, I didn't understand that very much because I was a serial dater, and I was like, this is not okay. Like, he messaged me, once that week, and then not this week, and what is going on? Is this normal? And like, I was short of attention, and I don't know what that was.
Okay.
And
You
I didn't
know,
really
Foram.
understand. No,
You know it
but I
was.
really didn't. Shut up.
You know, it was
I
कि
was
ये
just
तो भाव
feeling-
नहीं दे रहा है.
No,
अब जो दे
it
रहा है
was-
उससे
It
लेते
was
हैं.
very confusing also. Hello.
ठीक है यार. Jude, अब तो नहीं.
This
अब
is an accusation.
अब तो कैरेक्टर
No.
छोड़ दे.
He was. No, he was giving me the hot and cold treatment, or so I thought at the time. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I don't need this. I do not need this. I will ask someone else out because that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm a modern woman. Hey, this is very, very normal. So what if it comes off desperate? As long as I manage to have give myself a great evening, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah.
So went there and ended up talking for 5 hours. We were like, we'll chill for a little bit. Watch the
4:30
sunset.
we
Maybe
met.
we'll go to get something to eat. 5 hours straight. We were
Coffee.
just there.
4 cups of coffee
4 cups of coffee
Wow.
and sunset.
and sunset. And
Such
sunset.
a beautiful first meeting.
I
mean,
know. I
like
couldn't have
sunsets
imagined.
And coffee. Wow.
क्या क्या हमने
तभी खंडर था, by the way, because this house wasn't ready that time. They were just
Okay.
about to move here.
नहीं घर खंडर था.
No, I know.
Terrace
but
was there.
था, हाँ.
Even then, they were like, वो कांच
काम
का
चल
सब
रहा
होता है, हाँ,
हाँ,
काम का
क्या?
पड़ा हुआ रहता है. So all that, it was just lying around. There was no plants like it is now. So
You
But
don't
all-
need a beautiful place. You have a
yeah,
beautiful person with
I
you.
know.
I mean,
it was a great view as well. I'll show you.
Yeah, it's a great view.
Okay.
And more importantly, we didn't realize when 4:30 became 7:30 became 9:30
Yeah.
became 11. And then she got getting a call कि अच्छा okay कहाँ है? So then she had to like oh shit, I have to go home because it's 11 already, it's too
Yeah.
late and this and that. So we somehow ended that, but then we realized that
Something
कुछ
clicked.
कुछ तो है कि
something clicked.
Yeah.
इतना बात कौन करता है?
हाँ.
Just, I think we spoke about so many experiences, our quirks of our families and how similar they are, how eerily similar our family trajectories had been.
Okay.
Some of the incidents had been creepily similar, and I'm like, what are you saying? This happened to my family as well, and it was just a lot of. I just didn't see it coming. We just didn't know what hit us, and whether we were having so much fun that didn't realize that this was supposed to mean something.
Something.
The pressure that you
No,
start
in-
feeling, right? That builds
Yeah,
up when
yeah.
something gets
in
serious.
that
It was very
moment
free flowing.
It was
happened
so-
very
yeah.
organically. I
Yeah.
think.
in that moment I realized that if somebody is able to relate to what I have been through or what I have gone through,
I think she'll be.
she'll be good.
She'll be okay.
She'll be good. And that is what I was actually looking. That relatability was not there with a lot of people.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, at some level you want somebody who can relate to you. That's the
What was that one thing? Like, if you want to point out, like a lot of things maybe, but that one thing you were like, you know what, this girl, like maybe that you were trying to get from the other girls, like the relatability factor. What was that one example you would say about yourself that you could relate to her?
I think growing up in the same city
Yeah.
with a similar set of parents who
Yeah.
are somewhat orthodox but
Okay.
want to be progressive.
Yeah.
upper middle class,
Okay.
middle class,
It's,
Gujarati.
Yeah.
There are parts of you which are you, and then there are parts of you which are outside you.
Yeah.
And yes, the inner parts are unique because they're you. But there are other parts of you which are so common with so many other people.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you want to be able to relate with.
To.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yes, this
So beautifully said.
Yeah, the self is always going to be different. It's like a snowflake, right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, the construct of it, needs to have some sort of a connectability, a sort of a semblance of togetherness. Comes with that. Ki acha, okay, isne bhi, while growing up, she's also done these things.
Yeah.
While growing up, she also hated these things.
Yeah. Like neither of us were allowed two-wheelers in the family.
Yeah.
Simply because.
So we've never
it's
been on a two-wheeler. But
Yeah, it's a
we've
thing.
both actually मैंने तो चलाया है, but मेरे घर में allowed नहीं है, for example.
Okay.
It's also a little bit of a Gujarati thing. I'm not gonna lie.
We both our families don't eat non-veg food. We both tried non-vegetarian food because who doesn't?
Yeah.
Nobody drinks openly in my family or our family.
Yeah.
We do, and that's just the rebel that was within me
Yeah.
Sort of
was kind of fueled
Yeah.
by seeing Foram's rebellion out in the open.
Yeah.
Which is why, her, and also the second part was that emotional intelligence part, where I know that emotionally I'm not as intelligent as I would want to be,
Okay.
and that's also because how we raise boys and how we raise girls are very different.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would like to see boys being raised more emotionally,
Yeah.
but more and more as we grow, we realize that mothers and fathers, mothers especially, make emotional choices for men.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Can't blame them entirely because.
which is whatever the construct is.
Very
So because of
situational, yeah.
that, I never really made choices for myself in any scenario because they've already made. Only choices
Yeah.
that I made were career or what to study
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
where to spend money on. Those are materialistic things, right?
Yeah.
They are not emotional things. They're like
I don't know, when I was following her and I think I've also interacted with her for a few DMs and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you see someone's profile and
Yeah.
it's a vibe, you know you'll connect with this person.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
On
it
a lot
is.
of levels.
मेरा
I've
profile
met
देख के नहीं
people,
लगेगा।
I'm such a vibe person, like I'll be like, इसके
Yeah.
साथ करना है. When I
Yeah.
called her, I was like, there were other people also. I was like, नहीं यार, I want to do it
Yeah.
with her. Like,
Someone's digital persona is like you immediately connect to it or you don't. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
already know.
and then there are people who are like good, like they are like, okay, they're doing good stuff and
Yeah.
all, but then it's so fake.
Yeah, or
You cannot
it's,
you cannot just connect. I'm like,
Yeah.
नहीं यार, सब अच्छा है लेकिन छोड़ो. कहाँ?
मैं कर ही नहीं पाता हूँ यार. I can't do. I just
But
can't. That is
that's
why I think
okay,
I've not been able to, survive per se in this digital
no
age
way.
and world.
I don't think you've even tried
I
to
don't want
enter
to,
the
is
rat
what I'm
race. I
saying.
don't think he's entered the rat race to worry about
Yeah.
getting
I'm way.
somewhere.
I mean,
You're
I'm
not-
way out of it.
Yeah.
So when I met Foram as well, I realized that she is very strong sense of empathy.
Yeah.
Right? And when you meet someone like that, you realize that this person can really help you connect with yourself
Okay.
because they understand how the other person feels and they put themselves in their shoes. And that sense led me to believe that यार अगर मैं इस लड़की के साथ आगे if I go ahead and be with this person, even though I don't relate to them, okay, even though I'm not like them, I would aspire to be like them.
Yeah.
And that's actually more that was more important in my case.
That you look up to your partner.
Yeah.
No,
You
it's
wanna-
important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
I think that's also such an important factor.
that respect needs to
That
be
respect.
there.
Needs
But
to
I
be
think
there.
it came out
Yeah.
in very different ways for him and me. Like for him, it was like, oh, that's so great. I would like to imbibe these things from her, like he just said.
Yeah.
I think for him, it's he has no ego. when it comes to these things, right? So self-improvement is that much easier. So he's that much open. For me, what tends to happen is because I'm already holding so many insecurities or like, there's just general anxiety, of course. So when you meet someone new, right? When I met him, not only the first date, like I knew it since the first date, but I think for the first 6 months of our relationship, I was, whether we were exclusive or not, or later we became exclusive. It's just that for the first 6 months, I was feeling horribly inadequate because this guy knows everything under the sun. Sneha, matlab everything.
Okay.
Say if you talk about like resin material, or if you talk about how the metals are carved in 1868 and how that kind of like evolved later. You talk about films, you talk about anything, you talk about the origin of coffee. This guy will know everything, especially films. Like if I say that, that film was really funny, ha ha ha. He'll be like, oh yeah, it was adapted from this English film and which was adapted from this German play. And he's probably seen all three of them probably twice. My
not seen the German
one pet peeve was not knowing enough to have a conversation. Like
you felt dumb, like okay. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I
not
get
even
that.
dumb. I felt like literally inadequate. That is the term in one way or another. And it felt as if I have to bring more to the table while the whole time I had no idea that someone's looking up to you. While you're looking up to them, it's insane. But for me, it came out in the form of insecurities. For him, it was like, oh, this is great. So I think this is also basically how different we
you never
are.
know in a relationship. Basically, he's more knowledgeable, but you don't know what you're getting on the table. Like,
Exactly.
We are judging ourselves continuously
Because it's what we see.
We see,
Yeah.
क्योंकि ये विकिपीडिया पे नहीं मिलेगा.
सही है.
बाकी सब information आपको मिल सकता है online Google करके.
No.
You won't get this.
Yeah.
You'll get this on Instagram. Sorry. It was right there.
कर ले, paid promotion करना है Instagram के साथ. करना है.
I don't think they'll collaborate.
When you start meeting when you're just into a new relationship, right? You always want to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
You always want
you always want to be like the best.
your best version.
Yeah.
And the longer you put that facade up, the longer it takes for the other person to get to know you. For me, it was very simple to just like be around her. And that's the primary reason why I started dating her also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you let me be.
Easy to, be.
Around everybody else, I have to be a little someone, a little something else.
Yeah.
Around you, I can crack stupid jokes.
You can just be
I can talk about food, mujhe ye khana hai, I can burp, I can... From the beginning, I have been so open. She lets me be. It's as simple as that. And you need to have some kind of comfort.
Definitely.
And that kind of confidence within also to let somebody else be. Yeah. Right? And she allowed me to be that, and I was very happy to be that. And then I realized, अरे यार मैं बहुत बात करता हूँ. Fuck, ये लड़की तो बोल ही नहीं रही है और मुझे लगता है कुछ गड़बड़ है.
But you talk a lot. Like,
But he talks more than I possibly can. He loves narrating stories. Like if you see right now, see, we both will have things to say, but his stories are always going to be more interesting because they're coming from him. And you're also listening and you're like, 1 second, मैंने बात ही नहीं किया. And like, why do you think the date was 5 hours long? Because all we were doing is taking turns. So, but I think it took me a slight bit longer than it took him because I was like too in my own head about the fact that I like him a lot, but also I was on that self-sabotage streak that, this is too good to be true. So after the first date, I'm like, you know what, I'll just take my sweet time. And he asked me for a movie after the first date. Saying,
first
hey,
date
do you
itna
wanna...
अच्छा गया, okay, amazing, she's gonna say yes.
It was mutual.
And this woman is like, no, I have plans. And I was like, acha, okay. Cool.
Yes, you want to be like,
what happened?
Yeah.
So then I was also like, listen. She responds.
And when it's too good, no? Like when it's too good to be true, girls get even all the more scared.
Yeah, I was
Sorry,
proper
like,
self-sabotage.
अगर सब अच्छा है तो कुछ तो गड़बड़ होगा.
Waiting for the butt. I was waiting for the butt.
And you know what? I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that it was so good कि problem हो सकता है because men don't think like that. Men are like, if this is too good, okay, I'm gonna cash in on this. we'll see the risks and everything later. But first we'll cash in. Because अगर ये if this is good as it seems और ये चला गया तो पंगे हो जाएंगे.
But see, that's also how I was thinking. It's just that my head was like, you know what? Just take some time. Like, it's too good to be true. I wrote a pro and con list. I journaled about it. Oh, I think I posted a snap of that journal right before we got married. I'll show you later. But I basically wrote about how I felt after I met him the first time to clear my head, which is very unlike me because I'm too quick to judge. In good or bad way. So I think it took me a little time, and I'm like, you know what? At the end of 4 or 5 days, I'm like, look, you can't judge by just meeting someone for the first time. No matter how many hours that was, no matter how great the conversations were,
No
it was
matter
still
how
just
amazing
one
the
day.
poem was.
He read me a poem, okay, and and up until that point, I had no plans to meet or date anybody who was a Gujarati. Can I just like put it out there? Because I come from that background, I'm like, देखो ये देख लिया, ये नहीं करना.
ये नहीं चाहिए.
क्या चाहिए वो नहीं पता, but ये नहीं करना है.
Yeah.
But I met him and I didn't realize from the name that, oh, he's a Gujarati. And even if I did, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go have fun. No big deal. He seems great to talk to, right? But then all the relatability was not what I was looking for. I was
she
like,
wanted to get
oh
out
my
of the
God,
relatability.
This is too similar.
This is too similar.
And I'm not even like running away from it. What is wrong with this? Is a new feeling. That's basically what it was. And then he read me a poem that he had written years back, and it was about how women are treated differently simply because they menstruate, and they are treated as the lower beings. And honestly, you should read that
Oh wow.
poem. And I was like, okay,
She's
hold on.
been after me to like do so many things.
Woke Gujarati boy, cute smile, and he writes poems and he talks about his feelings. Excuse me.
This is new.
Excuse me.
This is alien to girls.
This is out of syllabus.
Yeah, out of syllabus.
अब क्या करना है? So that's why it took 4-5 days, and I'm like, okay, let me just breathe and meet him again.
Let's just take some time.
Let's just take
To
some
me, it
time.
seemed like she's blowing me off because I was like, अच्छा okay, date अच्छा लगा तुझे? तुझे मिलना नहीं है वापस? And I'm like, something is wrong. So I didn't push.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen, I'll ask her once. I'll ask her twice. I won't ask a third time.
Okay.
क्योंकि उसके I was in a place where I was like, you know what, I don't want anything. अगर मिला तो सही है, नहीं मिला तो नहीं चाहिए. Because किसी के पीछे अब भागने की मेरे पास strength नहीं है.
Look, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of late 20s,
willingness
right?
नहीं है मेरे पास. अगर कुछ आ रहा है तो ठीक है, अगर नहीं आ रहा तो मैं नहीं जाने वाला बॉस. मुझे नहीं, मैं हो गया. ये अब नहीं होगा मुझसे.
And I think that is the beauty of late 20s,
Yeah,
right? Dating
that
in your
romance
late
is,
20s, you're
like,
what's it gonna be?
No, which is you know then
no
you
one's
start
what are we here
you start
What are we here
enjoying
for? Yeah.
you start enjoying ki cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Now
But
the
it's
chase is
fun.
not exciting. Now that game of
वो नहीं
like
चाहिए.
oh text करे फिर wait for reply for 12
Nobody's got
hours
the time.
Beat
फिर
around the
देखो
bush.
I have
yeah.
acidity.
Like flirting.
I have acidity. Nobody's got the time.
nobody
Yeah, true.
yeah and so you know I was like कि सुन पिक्चर के लिए जाना है तो आना है क्या नहीं ओके then I was like ब्रंच के लिए जाना है क्या नहीं बोला उसने बोला ओके ठीक है अब डन
Oh, that's very soft.
I am not going to say anything. Second day she replies, listen, I'm going this day, but before that we can meet for brunch. And I was like, देख अगर नहीं मिली तो नहीं मिलेंगे. पर अगर सामने से बुला रही है तो मैं मना नहीं करने वाला. So then I was like, okay cool. Like what she says, I don't have an ego, but I have dignity.
Of course.
I
it's
mean,
a very,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
two different things.
Yeah. Whereas I will never hesitate to say I am wrong. But I will never ever be like, no, you tell me what is right. I'll come to please.
I think that was important because I think that's what I was looking for. But it's really hard to articulate in your journal saying I want someone who will hold his own. So I think that day when I met him, second date was it for me. I don't think first was.
Second
because
was it.
it was so overwhelming on the
Yeah,
first,
sure.
and nobody talks about that, right?
Yeah.
कि
And I think for girls, even the sense of security is so high.
Yeah.
Like for men, I don't know, but for women, the first thing
Yeah.
is you want to feel secured with this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And who's this unknown guy?
yeah.
And okay, he could be making up things in the first
Yeah,
meeting.
first meeting,
He's
no
just
matter
talking
how
about,
great it
okay,
feels.
he's just reading a poem. कहाँ से उठाया क्या पता
Yeah.
खुद ने
Yeah,
लिखा है, क्या
exactly.
किया?
किसने किया है क्या पता
But it all
बना रहा है बस
even if it
खुद की
seems
फोटो तो डालता नहीं इंस्टाग्राम पे फोटोग्राफर बोल के रहता है अपने आप को बेशरम हाँ. No, it's the so second date also when we met we were just out there to get drunk.
Yeah. We were just chilling, we were talking, and he was being so cute because he was actually just again caught off guard that I asked for the second time because he wasn't expecting it. He's like, "Abhi kya hoga, pata nahi." And I think that's the part where I think that little bit of a weight game, that little bit of a oh should we not was honestly the fun parts because once we met again, I think we both kind of knew that this is it.
And then after that
Like, no doubt about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
yeah. Speak for yourself,
That.
Foram.
Hello, it's. Excuse
That's what
me,
she
it's
thought.
Michael.
That's what she thought.
It's Michael. I'm quoting Michael Scott. Never
No,
mind.
that's good. That's good. No, Your culture reference
sorry,
game is very.
I'm sorry. It was not a Rick and Morty quote. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's okay, it's fine. We'll make up for it by watching another episode.
No.
She hates Rick and Morty.
No, I don't
because
hate Rick and Morty.
it makes her feel more existential, and she
It is-
always
it
is
is-
existential.
It is a
does.
very existential
It does.
show.
I love it.
And I'm like,
Makes you
I
feel-
come here
Makes
for
me feel so
escape.
small. It's beautiful because then I realize everybody else is also this small.
Excuse me. I'm like, मैं escapism के लिए आती हूँ. Do not be real with me. Like, that's
हाँ,
so.
so dating was also like that only for me.
Well, yeah.
कि हम लोग आते थे escapism के लिए, but फिर चीजें बहुत real हो
Real हो
जाती
गई.
So then we were like, third date, we will not drink, we will be sober,
Yeah.
and
Like,
we will see if this still continues.
Yeah, do we really
You
like
still
each
really
other?
like, हाँ, it's
Yeah.
just not the
Let's-
alcohol.
So,
Yeah, let's
so
confirm.
all of those
if it's
layers के
caffeine,
बाद
alcohol.
सबसे बड़ा barrier आया कि solo trip, remember? Solo trip that I started with.
हाँ,
Yeah.
solo trip लेना था
okay.
और मैंने solo trip महीनों से प्लान किया before I met her.
Of course.
And ये प्लान में नहीं थी
हाँ.
और इसके प्लान में obviously मैं नहीं था, but like मैं अब साउथ ईस्ट एशिया नहीं जा रहा हूँ. I'm going to Europe
I want to skip this part.
because budget बढ़ गया है.
हाँ.
So ma'am is like, listen, I don't want to get in the way of you and your trip.
Yeah. पाप मेरे सर पे
And
नहीं
I don't know
चाहिए.
what she was going for then, but I was like, you know what, Foram, you're right. I don't want you to get in the way of my trip and me.
We just met,
So
right?
it's only been less than a month, and I've been travel. It's been around a month.
I'll tell you what, it's been less than 20 days since I've met him.
Yeah.
And he's going away for over 20 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
the
was out
math
for a
doesn't
month
add
solo
up.
tripping across
And
Europe.
then again
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to like text and
Yeah.
catch hold of this
Yeah.
guy who
And I
has
was
a trip.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do that?
And you
Chase
know,
it.
and by then it's confirmed that you like each other. You know enough about
Enough.
each other.
Yeah.
You know you want to date
Yeah.
this person, but they're out, so which means it makes you feel pathetic the whole time where you're simping over this person
Yeah.
who's not even here,
Yeah.
who's away for a longer time than you've known them.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
is
like,
why we
it-
decided
to-
to not date.
To
then.
not be exclusive.
To not
I'm
be
like, you know
exclusive
what?
for that
So
month.
okay.
Because हम लोग 20 दिन हुए मिले and we've not even asked each other out properly.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
And
Let's be practical, yeah.
Yeah.
and we were like, listen, if after this trip we still feel like it,
We'll
there's
continue.
always time.
Yeah.
This trip will not come again, and it'll also make us decide
Yeah.
better. I feel like अगर एक ट्रिप की वजह से हम बंद अगर नहीं करते हैं
बराबर है.
तो it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea was for me to properly like just go out there and still feel the same way.
बहुत सारे checks कर लिए तुम लोगों ने.
Yeah, yeah.
हाँ.
काफी कुछ
तो
like
layers
without-
होते हैं check
yeah,
पे.
like
हाँ.
second date, then without alcohol date, then दूर रह के रह
दूर
सकते
रह के,
हैं.
हाँ. सब
क्या
कर लिया.
सब कुछ कर लिया.
हाँ,
Yes.
अब तो पैंडेमिक भी कर लिया उसके बाद.
और उसके
तो-
3 महीने बाद तो पैंडेमिक, 4 महीने बाद पैंडेमिक आ गया.
Oh.
Yeah.
उसके बाद नो
Brings out the worst, right? The pandemic brings.
Oh no,
brought out a
wait.
lot of-
Before
like-
that, the last set of check that any relationship should go through is if you can do a trip.
travel together.
Oh yeah, did you all do that?
Yeah.
That's on my list also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Whenever I find the
November I came back. I asked her. October we met. 20 दिन मिले. मैं चला गया
Trip
15
हो गया.
अक्टूबर को. I came for first week of November, 9th November, 8th November or something.
Yeah.
10th I asked her out. 17 December we decided we are going to Bangalore for a concert.
There was a music concert, and
Yeah.
I was like,
it was a music festival.
Yeah, music festival.
Echoes of the Earth, which is a sustainable
good.
festival.
I've heard about it,
It's beautiful.
Fab.
Yeah.
And we decided, listen, let's take a trip weekend away. हम मुंबई में भी नहीं घूमे इतना. हमने फर्स्ट ट्रिप किया बैंगलोर.
बस सही है.
लोनावला करजत नहीं जाना.
Good.
And we decided, okay, if this goes well,
Then we are okay.
Then we're okay.
great success. Going through all of those things were things thought through.
Yeah.
Meaning कि अच्छा ये अभी ऐसे करना है क्योंकि ये ऐसे करना है. Because that trip also happened a month into our relationship.
Yeah, it's just
And we were like, okay, we are so comfortable around each other.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a trip? We'll have fun. In fact, before going to Europe also, I was like, तेरे को आना है क्या? तो उसने बोला नहीं.
I was like, that's
solo trip है.
That's too
But I was
random.
very serious.
I
She
can't
thought I
do
was
that.
joking, but I wasn't. I was like, देख,
I'm very finicky about our travel.
15 दिन लगता है वीजा आने में. तभी तो Schengen was very easy.
Yeah.
I got my visa in 15 days. And I was like,
I'll tell you what, Sneha. There's a planner, and then there is a go with the flow person, and then they get married. That's how it is. So yeah,
Go with the flow and the plan.
And
yeah,
planner.
there was
Clearly.
no way
So,
I was going to just
because
up
I
and
don't
leave.
waste time doing any kind of planning because मुझे पता है कि ऐसा नहीं होने वाला.
Yeah.
हाँ, कुछ ना कुछ तो.
I have worked enough in the movie industry in production to know that you can have an outline,
But you can't have.
but अंदर जो होगा ना वो उस पे तुम्हारा कोई
तुम्हारा कोई
control
control
नहीं है.
नहीं है. बराबर है.
So why waste time doing that?
Yeah.
So
Enter type A.
what Forum told me was that अरे यार ये बहुत fast जा रहा है. बोला ये fast नहीं जा रहा है. This is normal pace.
But I don't think we realized it that time, right?
हाँ.
I think much later I'm like ये कैसा pace पकड़ा है late 20s के romance
And,
ने.
and that is what I realized, that we cut through those games that we play with each other.
Yeah.
कि अरे chase करो मुझे, अरे chase
मैं
after
थोड़ा सा ignore
her,
करती हूँ.
मैं थोड़ा
I
ignore.
know.
ये सब ना इसका time होता है when you are young.
अभी नहीं है.
And when you get a slightly older at you realize अरे ये सब time I can spend with this person in a better
Yeah.
way.
Better way.
Yeah.
So we did all of those things, and
I think
once
time is any which way is like if it's the right person,
Yeah.
yeah.
it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And what kind of. I think even in 2 days, if you meet the right person, if things
Yeah.
feel right, it'll just like
Yeah.
click.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
sometimes it's just
Yeah.
the person whom you're actually interacting with more than the time. So ये किसी ने बोला नहीं है कि यार ये बहुत लंबा चौड़ा है, like 6 महीना बात करना ही है. There is no timeline for
हाँ
love,
हाँ
to be very
वो
honest.
अरेंज मैरिजेस में होता है कि अरे अच्छा एटलीस्ट 6 महीने हो गए अब शादी कर
अभी
सकते हैं,
शादी हाँ वैसा कुछ
बट
है नहीं.
नहीं होता वैसा.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can spend a lifetime, like people say, no, you can spend a lifetime getting to know somebody,
yeah, I'm sure
and
you're
you
still
still
figuring
them,
out,
yeah.
yeah.
and you still won't know them entirely,
Yeah.
and sometimes a moment is enough and all that. Yes, it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will not know your partner entirely.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Yeah.
Because your partner, themselves, like they don't know who they are. But trying is the key thing there. We both tried to get to know, to want to know each other.
I think there was a willingness to know each other,
Want
knowing
is-
full well that I'm a certain kind of person right now, and so is he, and we both will evolve. So I think what I think, and I speak for him when I say this as well, that I think when we say when you are a little older, what it actually means is that when you get to know yourself enough to know that I don't know everything, that there is so much more to know. I think when you get there, you realize कि हाँ हम दोनों evolve होने वाले हैं, and we are both going to be evolving into people that we are not at the moment, which is true because the other day we were talking about this, that we are not at all the people that we
Started off
were
as.
when we started
Yeah,
off.
yeah, absolutely.
Which basically means
No
that
more.
of course we evolved, but we evolved in each other's presence, which means his quirks, his habits, everything kind of
That
flew into my life.
what I was saying was that, all your life you grow up to be a person with a certain perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your partner has also done the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you are together, right, and you're growing,
Yeah.
you learn to decide about like how you're going to do things with your partner's perspective.
Yeah.
So that growth is always going to be different than the growth you've had individually.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so you turn out to be a different person than you would if you would
Yeah.
do things
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
And you can't imagine what that version is going to be.
Yeah,
it's
you
just
pick,
something
you
have to
pick
wait
some
for.
from your partner, then
Yeah.
you mix it
Yeah.
with some of yours,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely
Yeah,
something
it's-
new.
Yeah,
It-
and
that
you,
was a
you
lot
can't
of-
plan it. You just have to wait for it to come to you because it's like one unique concoction of what you're going to be because you have this person's quirks and I think their lens to see things differently.
Yeah.
You don't just have one lens which is
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, which is why I
New
think
belief systems, new
Yeah.
perspectives, new
Yeah.
a lot of things that are new going to be new to you.
perspectives
after-
is a big one, but
Yeah.
also I think their lens of looking at things and their lens of loving things, their way. And once you look at that, I think it kind of just adds beauty, a different kind of beauty to everything that you couldn't have possibly imagined.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a mundane life with that person can be beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can't understand it because for people who haven't really immersed themselves in it or experienced it, they would find it boring. But only when you're in it, you're like, you know what, I want this. This is fantastic and this is exactly how I would like. This is exciting for me.
Yeah.
I want to
But I
get bored
think
with
you-
you.
I want to get
That's
bored
what,
with you.
That's
That
what
would
my
be-
proposal as well.
Yeah, that was your
Yeah.
proposal.
He had a speech and everything. So by the way, when we met
Huh.
on the terrace for our first date, little did we know that cut to a year and a half or so
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah, year
he
and a half.
proposed almost at the same spot.
Wow.
And
Yeah, at the same spot.
and cut to later that year, we had our mehendi on the terrace. as
Terrace?
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Terrace has been a
It's-
go-to venue for a lot of things. Date, proposal, mehendi. Imagine the yeah, it could be. It is a great setting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an
Actually, for-
emotional a place that
it
gives
is.
out so many.
It's very special.
It's very special.
Also, I like open skies. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
like indoors.
It does something to you, it kind of like
Yeah.
opens everything up, including it's because your periphery is kind of widened, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So when you look further away, I think you also think a bit more openly. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No,
at
no,
all.
you are definitely.
Yeah.
But it just kind of eases you into the conversation. It's
Yes.
not. I mean, it's especially for someone who has.
It's not restricting you by walls. Like you're
Yeah.
actually seeing.
Yeah.
It's like abundance. I would just.
Yeah,
say. I don't
I
know why it
suppose.
just throws so much abundance
Yeah.
when you look at the open
Yeah.
sky.
Yeah.
It kind of eased my anxiety also because I have this thing about like shoulders, up tight and like jaws clenched, and I have anxiety. I've always had anxiety. But I think even though I was meeting someone new, someone I hadn't met before that day, and even though 3 people had my live location, I do believe that yeah, because I hadn't known him, so
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course,
this is
yeah.
a safety
Yeah.
measure, right? And it was very unlike me to do that as well. But I think because of the setting and because of everything that was in that space, I think we just went with the flow, and I think it was really beautiful. It was just too against it was just very out of character for me, let's just say.
Yeah.
To meet someone new that I haven't known before and to then just have a free-flowing conversation.
Yeah.
That itself was a bit of a
New
new one.
feeling altogether. Okay, and you spoke about that you have had anxiety.
Yeah.
And when you all met, did you all like talk? Like I feel as a person that when you meet somebody, people
Yeah.
usually talk about what we want and what our ambitions are, and this is how my career is. Did you all talk about like your traumas, both of yours?
We only talk
yes.
about. We only spoke about traumas.
Yeah.
We
That's
didn't
where it
speak about
began.
मेरे को क्या करना है career में.
नहीं.
We didn't want to
कि
think
मेरे को
about.
ये पसंद है.
हाँ.
Are you a chai person,
No,
coffee
no,
person?
no, no.
But that's how
established हो गया था.
वो तो
वो
हो गया
सब text पे हो जाता
हो
है
जाता
आजकल.
है. हाँ.
We get out of
असली
that.
बात किया था मतलब.
Then we went to अरे अच्छा हो
असली
गए.
बात.
So now I've been going to therapy for about
Yeah, therapy conversation.
4.5, 5 years हो गया. I've been to therapy. She's been to therapy for almost that much time.
And we're like, my parents
And we-
didn't allow me such and such thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
My parents didn't allow me to, do this. So I really wanted to pursue like photography. And he's like, oh, I wanted to go to, NIFA. New York
Yeah.
Film Academy, and then my parents were like, no, why don't you learn here? And I think सारे वहीं से trauma के conversation शुरू हुए हैं.
Yeah, trauma bonding first for Indians is family.
Family.
Yeah.
हम इतना, I realize why also people in the West have traumas that stem outside of the family.
Yeah.
But in India,
Experience.
most of your traumas stem from the family itself
yeah.
because your immediate environment is them.
True.
And a lot of times what happens is when they decide for you, they decide everything for you.
Yeah.
It comes from a lot
Men
of
or
love.
women, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it comes
comes
out
from
of
a lot
love.
of love.
And a lot of
but-
suppression actually
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
where the trauma starts from.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is what we spoke about
Yeah.
from the first date itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we also were very hyper aware.
Yeah.
I think we were very-
that's what it is.
We are also very, very cautious about the other person's issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we, both of us want to give each other the space to cope with it better.
Yeah.
So it's fundamental to us that, okay, if you are, whatever you want to do
Yeah.
can wait. As long as you are fine, mentally, physically,
Yeah.
everything else in the world is second place.
Yeah.
And we established that very early on.
Yeah,
in
like
our relationship.
if something makes him uncomfortable, I may not relate to it, but the fact that I understand that this is important to take care of, number one, I think that's basically what it was. I think if he's uncomfortable, I
Yeah,
think
about
that's
something, yeah.
number one priority to sort. That if you're not okay with something, then or if something makes you uncomfortable or something is triggering for you, I just have to take a step back and ask you if you want to talk about it. If not, just give you that space to deal with it, or ask you how can I help you deal with it? Like, can I help? Like, do you need space, or do you need me to keep checking on you, or do you need something to make the situation better? I think it's very important.
Important.
Because
It
to know
takes
that
it takes a while.
it takes a while with anybody.
Because for
I
me,
feel.
I didn't understand any of this.
Okay.
I didn't understand to check with what it means to check with somebody.
I think he did. He just didn't know how to go about it. Like,
In the sense
No, no,
that
yeah,
what I mean to say is that if you have a problem, you will tell me is my understanding of things.
yeah,
Meaning that if you are uncomfortable with something,
Yeah. Just tell me.
you will let me know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that.
Most of the men work like this.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Like
he
my
had-
dad,
Exactly.
like even for that matter, for my dad, it was like we are 3 kids, and my dad is like, just tell me if you have a problem.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right?
didn't you see my face? Like, didn't you see my posture, my gesture? How
Yeah.
am I behaving in the house?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I thought
This
you'll
is-
come and tell me. Like,
Yeah.
that's how men are. Like,
Yeah, but this is
problem
exactly
hai
what I
to
was
bata
saying.
do, yaar.
Bata do.
Wait, this
You
is
don't
exactly
have to go
what
deeper and
what I meant with emotional intelligence is this.
yeah.
Yeah.
That we are not exactly told how to read things
Yeah.
in a
Why?
certain setting. And you will see that with men who are closer to their, who are raised by women around them.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about mothers.
Yeah.
Men with sisters, men with more women in the family,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
they'll see this.
yeah.
Because they're raised
they're
by
able to
women.
see through it. Yeah.
Men who are raised equally by men and women will have a problem. Because they are raised as like men.
Yeah, it's general observation
और
because
इसमें क्या होता है ना कि मैं तो बोल देता हूँ
Yeah.
मुझे प्रॉब्लम है तो why can't you do
Why
the
can't
same?
you do the same?
yeah, because
It took me a while to understand why it's
Yeah.
not the same.
and it's not intentional. It's not like
'Cause-
it's not one of the games. Is basically what it is. Because
Yeah.
when you see the person struggling to tell you but not being able,
Able
to
to
tell you,
communicate, yeah.
and then you just have to take a new approach.
Yeah,
कि,
yeah,
okay, this requires.
It was the bane of our relationship has been that communication has not been easy.
And
Okay.
Even though we communicate a lot, communicating about the right things.
yeah,
No, even if you all
The
talk
right
a
time.
lot,
Even if we, okay, sorry,
let's
yeah.
say that.
Even if we talk a lot, communicating key things has been difficult, and it took us a lot of time.
it's very tricky and it's very hard to
To
accept
figure out.
also because somehow you have this fairy tale idea of how everything worked out and we clicked and everything has to be perfect and
Yeah.
everything has to fall in place, but it does not work like that. It is quite the opposite. It is not that. It is not a bed of roses is all I want to say, because when you want to communicate with a person, you really get down and dirty, you know. It's not, you can't just have it free flowing. Even though you pick up on things that they might be feeling, you still have to communicate it with them.
Yeah.
You still have to ask them. You still have to have that curiosity. It's so important to have the curiosity to know the other person.
True.
And I think we both kind of went through these experiences very consciously. because we wanted to see how we would be on a trip, and we wanted to see
Yeah.
how we would live through these different challenges and situations, because we didn't really have a real challenge in our relationship. Whereas it was pretty easy, it was straightforward. Our parents were okay with it. Everyone's like, okay, there was no resistance like they show in movies, which was somehow always my idea of how it will be.
Obstacle jab nahi
There
hota
was no
na.
obstacles. So it was like, okay, there is no obstacle. This is throwing me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we had no obstacle. So I'll tell you what.
What was the obstacle?
So I'll tell you what. Problems होते नहीं हैं, हम खुद बनाते हैं.
हाँ.
Right? So now we have this idea. Anybody who's out there single or in a relationship or whatever, they have an idea of an ideal partner.
Oh man.
Okay, you in your head must have an
have.
idea कि okay,
Yeah.
मेरा
Yeah.
partner ऐसा
ऐसा.
हो,
हाँ,
ऐसा हो, वैसा
of
हो,
course.
वैसा हो.
Especially since you're seeking a partner,
Yeah.
I'm sure you.
Now, as Seema auntie says, 100% match is not possible. 70-75% you have to adjust,
adjust.
right? So when people say that,
Man, she's hilarious.
which is fine, you know, you can get that 70-75%, yes. But there are certain places which are non-negotiable,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? Forum's non-negotiable is curious about me.
Hey,
Forum's
that was not an obstacle. What are you on to?
Sunna.
Huh.
So hear me out. Maybe you can tell me. You can
okay.
disagree.
Huh.
Or I will.
So thing is that you don't want to get to know me. Okay.
Okay, that was her.
That was
Yeah.
Because I'm not somebody who will ask questions like, "अरे तूने ये क्यों नहीं किया?
हाँ.
अरे
Like
तुझे ये क्यों
follow
नहीं
up
पसंद है?"
questions
Follow up,
in a
yeah.
story,
Right.
you know.
Details.
Because men
Details.
Like I said.
Yeah.
not raised the same way.
Yeah.
You choose something, we automatically think you like it. There is no gray in there.
Yeah.
There's a very black and white.
True.
Or I don't even speak on behalf of men. I thought that. To make it less controversial, because I'm sure somebody out there will say, अरे ये ऐसा कैसा बोल. I'm talking about me. I
अरे कंट्रोवर्सी तो चलेगा.
हाँ यार.
कंट्रोवर्सी तो चलेगा.
Okay,
चाहिए.
men are like, okay, no,
We'll
but
give one juicy camera shot, for the beginning. Men are just like that. Like
Men-
something controversial. Like
no man is worth it.
no man is worth it.
Those are forums words, I think. So no. So yeah, I never questioned anything. I was like, हाँ तुझे पसंद है
पसंद
तो-
ले ले, हाँ.
I like you for right now. Why do I have to get to know who you were and what has led to you being like that?
Yeah.
But Rudra, you keep talking about why you are like this.
Yeah.
now. Because I like saying these things. I like telling
narrating
you
stories.
what it is. Maybe I don't like asking you, and I was so afraid of saying that I don't want to ask you.
Yeah. Because of what it could mean.
And what-
it may not mean anything. It may be just how different we both are. Because if I get to know you, for example, even as a friend, or for that matter, a guy, with respect
Yeah.
to a relationship, like a long-term relationship, I still would like to know how you were when you were in school. If you had any embarrassing poopy incidents, or if you have any childhood photos.
Yeah,
if you
I'm
had-
exactly how
Oh,
you are.
man,
Like, I want
love-
details,
Exactly.
yeah. Like,
Exactly.
मैं
So those
घुस
details,
जाती हूँ. I love
हाँ.
immersing.
I like it when the other person provides them.
Yes. He's
I don't
you
like
tell me.
asking for it because I'm like कि तू शो दिखा रही है ना, तू दिखा, मैं तेरे को पूछूं.
That's wrong.
But then I realized कि okay, no. I have to give. If somebody is saying something, not everybody is like me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not
that-
everybody wants to go back and search and
That.
tell you, look, this is the shiny toy that I had.
Yeah.
I am that child who will want to do that. But others are not children.
And I think I had to realize the same. No, it's not like that. I had to
No.
realize the same.
I'm
Because
sure.
I'm like, oh, he's not like me. But he wants to know, but he's not like me. I think if we all just have that realization that not everyone is like us in the
Of
truest
course, there
sense,
will be
without
two different people.
yeah,
But we
without
don't want that in our ideal partner. No, an ideal
Yeah.
partner is supposed to be like what we want
Yeah,
them
and
to
somehow
be.
I feel like everyone's image of an ideal partner is somehow mirroring certain parts of yourself that you think are the best.
True.
So because I think I'm a great friend, I think I would want that person,
person
to be a great friend. But in the same way,
Yeah.
not realizing that not everyone is like me without letting that fact offend me at all times.
True.
Every breathing moment. That, oh, but like he didn't ask me anything. Oh, but he doesn't want to know anything about me. But the truth is that we are, while we're busy overthinking about that, which I obviously did for months and months before I realized that, you know, he's just different. And there are different ways that we need to
And maybe
find.
And maybe by then he's observed some other 10 qualities
Yes.
about you
Yeah.
that he's not asked about.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also something
I
that
have
guys do.
Yeah,
is spot
we do.
on.
It's perfectly put that, because see, what happens is that we are not very used to reinforcing, like positive reinforcement
Yeah.
karna is not for men.
Yeah.
Meaning that men will not constantly encourage you, kya baat
Arre
hai,
haan.
every day, amazing, great
Queen
job,
slay.
right? Because your dad doesn't know that, but your mom will know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difference, right?
There's a, yeah.
Dad will say, even in the best of things, he will be like, "अरे ना ये रह गया."
नहीं सारू कह
हाँ.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
kind.
And this is a
ठीक है.
generalized.
कि better हो सकता था, you know.
हाँ.
It would be, वैसा नहीं है. Mom is like, "अरे, amazing." And you tend to realize, oh, okay, this is the difference.
Pick up on nuance. And although this is not everyone, I feel like generally, sadly, this is how
At the
it is.
risk of overgeneralizing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
men and women,
Yeah.
But majorly, I would say this is a fact.
It's a societal thing. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's how social construct is
kinda sad.
made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sad hai ki nahi, pata nahi, but it is the way it is.
It is, yeah, true.
And you know, I tell people often that, you know, you don't have to maintain character. You can break it.
Yeah,
It's great.
If we just felt free to just change our mind without fearing what people are, you know, around us are going to think of us because we made a big deal about what we believed in like 5 minutes back, then if we just leave that, you know, that embarrassment or that shame, I think, that tentative shame, if we just keep that aside, I think we'll just be able to change our minds more often and actually, you know, evolve our opinions more often, help ourselves better actually.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important, specifically in relationships, because there are two people and not just one. You're not just
Yes.
functioning for one.
One.
You're also kind of thinking for two people now suddenly, because
True.
especially after you transition into marriage, I think it completely changes
बोलना देखो
everything.
शादी के बारे में बोलना
Yeah,
देखो.
I
Oh
want to
Lord,
know.
I've been fearing
Please
that
ask us.
subject
I wanted
so
to-
Because
much.
otherwise we'll unhinge
Yeah.
ourselves. So like
No,
direct us.
I want to ask you, I want to ask you about the anxiety part that you spoke. So when
Yeah.
I was seeing your marriage videos, okay,
Yeah.
like how I even thought of getting you guys on this show was
Yeah.
when I saw one of the wedding videos and she bursted out crying on the stage.
Oh yeah,
And
the Sangeet one.
The
yes.
Sangeet one.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And I was like, everything is going good, okay? And then suddenly, okay, what just happened? Okay,
Yeah.
you're crying when you're leaving your family. That's a different. You see that emotion.
No, that was fine.
That emotion is totally different. But this was something else. This was
Yeah.
not during the wedding. This
Yeah.
was during your Sangeet.
Yeah.
And this was not coming from the whole fact that you're leaving your family. That was quite evident.
Yeah.
Because it was something else.
Look, it's been hard to.
No, so I wanted to know, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So that part, and then how Rudra took care of you
Yeah.
during that part
Yeah.
was something that stuck through me like
Yeah.
all the time. And I was like, wow, like he handled it really well, is what I
Yeah.
could see.
If I'm being honest, the wedding prep was very stressful.
Okay.
He wasn't around, and
You've always imagined it.
Yeah.
I'll do this dance, I'll do
Yeah.
this sequence.